world and a large part of the Muslim world, I believe myself we're going to find that that evaporates and that this is a saw chafing, and it's mucking up too many things, and I pray that this new president will have the capacity to say, we've got to do something here for the sake of our own humanity, you know, for the sake of our children.
Would you compare the occupation of Gaza and the West Bank to apartheid, South Africa?
I have to speak about what I know. I mean, most people, a Jew will usually speak about their experiences and maybe compare whatever it is that is happening with what happened in the days of the Holocaust. For me, coming from South Africa and going, I mean, and looking at the checkpoints and the arrogance of those young soldiers, probably scared, maybe covering up their apprehension that there's no way in which I couldn't say. Of course, that is the truth. It reminds me of the kind of experiences that we underwent. I mean, I was Bishop of Johannesburg, and would be driving from town to Soweto, where we lived, and I would be driving with my wife, and we'd have a roadblock, and the fact of our having to have passes allowing us to move freely in the land of our birth. And now you have that extraordinary structure, that the wall, and I do not myself believe that it has improved security, breaking up families, breaking up, I mean, people who used to be able to walk from their homes to a school, children, now have to take a detour that lasts several minutes. It's when you humiliate a people to the extent that they are being, and yes, one remembers the kind of experience we had when we were being humiliated. When you do that, you're not contributing to your own security, and all you are doing is you're saying to those people, in all of their desperation, we're still human, and there are things we will not be able to accept. I mean, just sit down. We have to do something, and so you get the suicide bomber, and one does not condone them, but one understands perfectly how people can be driven into a corner, and out of that desperation, and so you have that cycle, the response of Israel to the suicide bomber, which you know is going to provoke another cycle. And one says, no, that's not how God intended us to live. That it is possible. It's been shown, it happened in South Africa. It is possible for people who have been enemies to begin to think that they can be friends, at least to coexist.
The International Criminal Court, should Barack Obama as president sign on to the ICC, sign the treaty for the International Criminal Court?
Of course. I mean, I said earlier that actually, had America been a signatory, September the 11th, 2001 would have been, the perpetrators were not a country. You know, they were guilty of a criminal, abominable criminal act. And the right thing to do would have been to seek to apprehend those who were responsible. I mean, of course, you had the ones who had died, but then they had collaborators, and the world would have done their darndest to support America in apprehending those people and bringing them before a court. And so I would say, yes, if you believe in the rule of law, then you're going to say, yes, this is one particularly important instrument, because it is an instrument that is saying we will no longer tolerate impunity. The many who are guilty, as is happening just now in the DRC, or in Darfur, that people who are guilty of egregious violations have to be brought to book, and it's got to be done in a way that satisfies those standards that we have. I mean, you don't hold people in detention without trial. That's what the world used to say against the South African government. And if it was true that that was wrong, it has to be wrong consistently everywhere.
Do you believe George W. Bush should be tried for war crimes?
I would want to leave that to the world to determine. I would not myself want to see that happen. I mean, like, it's almost like people are wanting to settle scores. I would let it be determined by people who are a great deal more knowledgeable than I. I'm just sad. I'm sad that he did lose an opportunity. I telephoned the White House in 2003. I was teaching at the University of North Florida, to say that I wanted to speak to the president. Well, I mean, who am I? But as it happened, I was in Tallahassee, and Jeb Bush was still the president, and the governor of Florida, and we were in his house when a call did come, actually, from the White House, and Condoleezza Rice was on the other side, and she said, the president received your call and has asked me to return it. What did you want to tell the president? And I said, I just want to say, please give the inspectors more time. If they find this evidence, most of the world will tend to be supportive of action being taken then against Saddam Hussein. And she said at the time she didn't think that the president would agree to postpone his intention to